Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to Kitafit YouTube. So I am sitting by my little fountain. Can you see my little fountain there? It's outside of my office, and I just wanted to sit outside because it's such a beautiful, unbelievable day. I'll do a really quick little scan so you guys can see how pretty it is. It's such a pretty day out. So pretty. Anyway, you guys, I am just really compelled to want to talk to you guys this morning about playing small and how I think that we tend to, as a society, play small. I experienced that, at least. I don't know necessarily if it was a gender thing. I never experienced that so much of a gender thing as I did of an age thing. And it's so funny with kind of what I'm experiencing now in my life. I was just watching this YouTube video. I actually posted it on my wall. Just an amazing speaker, and she was just talking about people that kind of grow up and have many different disciplines that they love. They start one thing that they love, and then they love another thing, and they love another thing. And I think she called it multi-potentialists, something like that. Anyway, it got me really, it started my brain kind of thinking in a way in which I was like, gosh, wow. I never realized I remember feeling that way, and I'll kind of describe to you the feeling. I think I'm going to go in the other room, though, because I think this might be just a little too loud, this fountain. I love you guys. I'm going to come back in 1 second. Okay, I'm in my side yard over here. It's so pretty over here. I'll give you guys like a little glimpse of the trees. You see, it's just like super pretty. So I'll just sit out here and have a little chat with you guys. Okay, so what I was saying is that I just remember when I was growing up that I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I feel like I had a really strong sense of myself. Like I knew myself. That's the only way I can used to describe it, is I always had a really strong sense of myself. I had always had a really strong sense of right and wrong. I always had a sense of injustice, probably because I had experienced a lot of injustice, and I watched and saw injustice. Now, here's the thing. I understand a lot of people are going to go, Kita, you didn't grow up in a war-torn nation or country. That's injustice. I understand that, but I don't think we should, number one, judge someone from what they think an injustice is. I know what I experienced, and I know that it was enough on my plate to give me a heart for humanity. So I don't want to go into the details because I don't really want to hurt people that are still alive now by expressing some things that happened to me, just because it's not important to me. I have forgiven and I've moved on from that. So needless to say, I had some hard things that I had to deal with, and it really shaped and formed a really big part of my personality. Anyway, moving on. So when I was in my 20s, I had been in many horseback riding accidents, but I had just gotten into this horseback riding accident where I fractured my low spine, and as a result of that, I just knew I was going to have a really difficult time. Number one, learning to walk. Number two, just kind of like getting around. And at the time I lived in Chicago, it was like, I remember the winters there, and it's like no joke. They can get, the wind chill factor can get minus 30, 40, 50, 60 below zero. I mean, your nose hairs freeze. I remember at the time I was a trainer, and I would go out and wait for a bus to take me downtown. I would literally, my nose hairs would freeze. And you have to, like, when you come in from that freezing weather, you can't just do this to your nose, or you feel like you're breaking your nose hairs off. I mean, it's just like so cold. Anyway, I knew living in Chicago that I would have to I was having this call to the ocean. My spirit was having a call to the ocean, and at the time I was reading a book from Deepak Chopra. I believe the book was 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and I remember as I was finishing the book, I was just devastated that the book was over. I mean, I had gotten so much out of it, but I could not believe the book was over. And I'll never forget this. as I was reading the last chapter, my twin was in the other room, my twin sister, and I said to her, "That's it, I'm moving to San Diego." And I think everyone thought I was crazy. They were like, "Oh, okay, you know, they're there now, little one." But I just knew, and the reason why I decided on San Diego is because when I was reading about the author, it said, and Deepak Chopra currently resides in San Diego, California. Thank God he lived in San Diego. Could you imagine if he lived in, like, I don't know, some other place that I would have moved there? Because I had that kind of a soul. I was just very impetuous, and why not, you know? I remember I moved to New York. The first time I went to New York City, I think I had $5 in my pocket. I knew I was going to meet someone there, and this was way before the internet and cell phones and all that. It was actually just right at the beginning of cell phones, but yeah, it was just crazy. I mean, I did some crazy things when I was young, but anyway, that's, again, deviation. More of those little stories later. But in this story, basically what I just want to say is after my accident, I ended up moving to California. There's a whole story behind that, but I'll get into that another time. But if you watch the vlogs, every one of my vlogs, I'm always talking about different stories. But in this vlog, I want to stay focused here. What I want to talk about is why do we play small? And I just remember when I moved to San Diego and started my business, I started working for a very, very, very highly respectable organization. And I don't know if I necessarily want to shout them out, because I don't want to put anyone down, but there was, let's just put it this way, there was hundreds of people that I talked to that went through the program. Let's say this, it was a leadership training company, let's just say that. And very, 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 very powerful, amazing people went through the program. I think the program was, I want to say it was like 20 grand per individual. It was a very expensive program, and I helped integrate a program called Peak Performance Training. And what we did is we had just an amazing team of trainers, and we did like hamstring, flexibility, heart rate, resting heart rate, flexibility, cardiorespiratory. We did a bunch of different health screening testing, and then they put them through a Myers-Briggs test, and then after that I headed up what's called the Peak Performance Training Program. I lecture. So I then took all of their values and benchmarked them, and then did a lecture that was personally pertaining to them. Anyway, I remember what they would do then at the end is they would hand out this survey, and these top leaders, we're talking about like CEOs, CFOs of like Pepsi, Coke, General Motors, I mean all these like big companies, right? Just big companies, and big companies that were coming up, big innovative companies. So it was amazing in that I was able to just like work with and speak to these really top level people. And it's funny, I think at the time I was 20, I want to say I was 24. I was 24 years old. And I would get in my little car, and I would drive there in the morning. I remember when I would do the lecture every Wednesday morning. We'd have a new group that would come through every week. And my big goal was to look old. So I would wear my hair like slicked back. I'd put little pearls in, or I'd put my earrings in, and I just would wear a blue suit or a black suit, and I would just be real polished and clean, no pink, like everything neutral. My hair was just blonde and slicked back, you know, real tight little bun. Just very, very conservative, because all I wanted to do was, number one, look conservative, number two, along with that, have a corporate image, a very sharp image. And it was almost like I had to try so hard to be something that would be accepted into their palate, so that when I would walk into the room, I would immediately be taken seriously. And then when I would speak, and I always had this thing that would come up in the surveys that they would fill out, they always had this thing about my age, that, you know, about how young I was, and how, you know, as all the information and everything that came out, I ended up getting many clients out of the program privately, because they were so inspired and moved by my personal story and just my energy level and the intellect that I had for putting together their numbers into programs that were going to be successful programs for them. And I actually, to this day, still have many of them that are now Facebook friends of mine. So it was invaluable in meeting those people, but at the same time, it was devastating to me because all I kept hearing over and over and over again is my age and how young I was, and how in 10 or 20 years, how the same exact speech, the same exact information will be more palatable. Like, it was more palatable for them if I would have been 20 years older. The information, everything was on target, perfect, but it was just my age. I kept hearing this thing, age, I'm so young, I'm so young, I'm so young. How can I know all these things and be so young? And I remember the same thing would happen anywhere I went. Every time I would do a lecture, anytime I would travel, I did a lot of stuff on, again, I won't say the name, but I did a lot of stuff on a shopping network, a national shopping network, and I had little showcases on there. And the same thing with that, it always came up, you know, the makeup artists and everything would try to make me look older than what I was, because the subjects that I was speaking on, how could someone my age have that base of knowledge? And I just remember, like, it was weird. Like, I remember, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I just remember thinking to myself, gosh, you know what? Like, if I could only almost, like, go into a time capsule and a coma or something in which I wish 10 years or 20 years could be on my face, so that when I walked into a room to speak, that's who they would see, is someone 20 years older. Yeah, and it was something that was devastating to me. It was devastating to me, because I would just hear it, like, all the time. And it's something that I'm telling you, I'm now 20 years older, and after I heard that, that talk this morning, it's just so weird. It was almost like the key that unlocked that memory. Like, I totally forgot that I had that memory. And so, it's interesting. It's interesting because society is always going to want to put you in a box. It's always going to want to tell you what's acceptable. It's always going to want to tell you, well, this is what you should look like if you like. That's why I have pink hair. And I changed my hair color. It's not to get attention. It's literally, if everyone had pink hair and it was an acceptable color, like when you went to the DMV and they said pink, blue, black, blonde, or brown, I would check pink. Like, I just like pink hair. I just think it's pretty. I like the way the blonde kind of comes through. I just love pink hair. I just think it's really, really pretty. When I was little, I was not a pink girl. I didn't wear pink boas or tutus or anything like that. It was actually when I was in my, I didn't even wear pink in college. I was like, I wore red, black, and white. Like, I wore probably more red because I went to Indiana University. I was a red and white girl. And Nancy Reagan wore red, and I love Nancy Reagan. So her favorite color was red. I'll never forget. She was interviewed, and I was like, I like red. Now I can't stand red. You'll never see me wear red. Probably because, you know, I just wore it so much. But anyway, I'm deviating again. Let's get back to the point. The point is this. Women. I just want to address women right now. And men. Actually, I'll address all of us. Let's just address all of us. If you are young and you are coming up through the ranks, I don't care if you're in middle school, I don't care if you're in high school, I don't care if you're in college, I don't care if you're fresh out of college. Listen to me. Do not play small. You go for it. You write down your goals and you go for it. And if people are not accepting of that and you keep hitting yourself in a wall, find another door. Just keep moving, keep grooving, come back and watch this. Call me, go to my website, go to my Twitter, my Facebook, like and subscribe below, comment, because I will be your biggest cheerleader. I will cheer you on, and I will tell you, do not do not play small. Don't do it. Don't tell yourself you have to go in a ball. Don't tell yourself you have to go and hide for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years or whatever it's going to take. Don't you deal with that. Okay? Okay? How dare society do that to artistic, creative, passionate souls? How dare they do that? Those of us that possess that internal dialogue, that strength, that vibrancy to want to go out and just tackle life and go toe-to-toe to anyone, regardless of age, regardless of gender, regardless, you just let your voice speak. And you know what? You keep speaking, you keep speaking, you keep speaking, you keep getting out there. You know, I can understand corporate culture and I can understand having a certain look. I get that. I refuse to do it now because I'm a rebel. I'm an alpha badass. I mean, that's me, alpha badass. And you know why I'm an alpha badass? I'm an alpha badass, number one, for Jesus. So I'm not like I don't use my power in a negative way, my super badass powers. I use them in a positive way to inspire, uplift, motivate, educate, intersect with those of us that have that creative drive. And because along with that is the gene that I know allows us to go down that road of depression, that allows us to go down to that road of just feeling unaccepted. It's almost like, have you ever seen a litter of puppies, a brand new litter of puppies, and there's just one puppy in the bunch that's, you know, got the floppy ears or the tail that kind of goes cockeyed or whatever, you know, and but he doesn't know, and he just pounces around and he flops with the other puppies, and maybe he, like, you know, he's always getting himself in trouble, but he's just kind of like, I feel like I'm that puppy. Or if you ever see little kids playing on a playground, there's always that one little kid that's running circles around everybody else, or is in and out of the, you know, the jungle gym, popping his head in and out. He's always, you know, up to something, you know. Or it could be that kid on the playground that's quiet, because as much as I'm always up into something, I always tell people I'm an extroverted introvert, because that's why I'm doing this video. I'm here outside all by myself talking to a camera. But I'm not talking to a camera because I know I'm talking to you. I know I'm talking to you. You right now that are sitting watching this, I'm talking to you. And I know it's so weird, but there's something inside of me that says, I'm supposed to talk to you right now. I'm supposed to reach you, and I'm supposed to inspire you, and I'm supposed to tell you that you matter, number one. Number two, don't listen to society. Get out there, get your grind on, do your thing. Learn more, learn more, learn more, learn more, watch more, watch more, watch more, study more, study more, study more, read more, read more, read more. Get out there and do it. And don't let anyone ever tell you because you're too young. Because guess what? Now, the age that I am, a lovely 46, when I walk into places like into gyms, now it's the reverse. Now I feel like society is telling me I'm too old. Now I'm too old. Now I'm too old to be a fitness trainer. Do I have this certification, this certification, this certification, this certification, all these new young certifications, stuff that I was doing 25 years ago before I was doing physioball, neural stabilization, proprioceptive work, before anybody was doing it. So it's crazy. Just want you to know, society is always going to tell you you're never going to quite fit in. Now I have pink hair. Oh, you can't have pink hair. You can't have pink hair and work at this gym. You're going to have to go back to blonde. And it's thinking that I have to sacrifice any part of who I am makes me want to revolt. So anyway, I just want to say, some of you out there, years and years and years and years and years and years for me of going down a path of almost wanting to just play small. I thought, well, you know, if I just can only age faster, maybe in 10 years if I could age faster, faster and faster, if I could just age, so that then they'll take me seriously, so then my message would be acceptable, so then I would be more palatable and good. And let me tell you what happens along that path: drinking, injuries, painkillers from the injuries, painkillers to kill your pain in your soul, more drinking to kill that. And then I just woke up and I was like, you know what? None of you all are... I was on antidepressant medication. And then I woke up and I was like, you know what? There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. You know what's wrong with me? Is that I'm listening to society and I'm trying to fit into something that is not made for creative, passionate souls like me. So you know what? Kita, you get up, you go do a video, and you talk about that. Because somewhere out there is maybe a 6-year-old, maybe a 12-year-old, maybe a 16-year-old that they're being told, oh, you can't know, you don't know yourself. You're going to change your mind so many times. Or they say, oh, these are the best years of your life. Just enjoy them. Don't stress yourself out. Let me tell you, my younger years, a lot of them were amazing and great. But let me tell you, they were pretty tough. And all I could think is, if someone's telling me these are the best years of my life, don't stress, I was like, holy moly. If I had not had Jesus, I probably would have stepped out. Because if that is as good as it gets, why would I want to go on? But Jesus was always in my heart, always in my heart, always in my heart, saying, I got you on this. I got you. So I got you. And I hope you opened your heart, and I hope you learned from me that you are enough. Don't listen to society. You go get your grind on. You go be you. You go be the best you can be. And you show that world. You don't need 10 years. You don't need 5 years. All you need is right now. Okay, you guys, it's Kita from Kitafit.com. Please like and subscribe because it helps me build. It's so funny because like right now I have a really tiny little YouTube channel. Tiny. This is proof right here. I'm going to show you guys. Tiny. Tiny little YouTube channel. But I don't care. I'm going to keep doing these videos. I'm going to keep doing these videos. I'm going to keep getting my message out. I'm going to keep getting my message out. I'm not going to listen to society because society would say, oh, you have a little tiny YouTube channel. Why should you keep putting your grind and pushing this? You know why? Because I know out there is someone I'm going to help. And I know that it's in God's hands. And I'm going to use this channel to show it doesn't matter what the world's telling you, what stats are telling you, what likes are telling you. You just keep doing your grind. You just keep doing your grind. You get up and you commit to your grind. You commit to helping that one person you know is out there that you are here to help. And then the next day you get up and you start your grind again, and you know there's one person out there you're going to help. And you tell yourself, you wish that there had been someone like you in that moment. And this isn't narcissistic, but I wish I had had someone tell me, you go be you. Don't listen. A strong, powerful woman with like vibrant pink hair, just like that was like strong in her game. There wasn't anybody like that. There hasn't been anybody like that, you know? So I want to be that for you. And we can be that for each other. And then you can be that for someone else. And we're just going to pass that torch on. We're going to recreate what society says it should be. Anyway, I love you guys. Remember, stand in your light, stand in your truth, and above all else, I want you guys to go be the warriors that you are. Go be those alpha badass.